Hello, everybody. Welcome back to more Desert Blues 2. It has been quite a hot minute since we were last together. Ever since my computer decided it was going to have an absolute fit and die after like 9 years worth of service, and then,
Mild abuse.
dishonorably discharged, preferably out of a goddamn window.
That is
But anyway.
ancient for a computer, though.
Yes, I have managed to put it in context. It is older. It is older than one of my children. That's how old that fucking thing is. But anyway, I have requisitioned the laptop, and we are back. When we last left off, or if we're going to do the thing, last time in Desert Blues 2, the gang fought a very, very hostile monster and all kinds of miscellaneous
Bullshittery.
monsters that were, yes, bullshittery. The entire crew pretty much got their shit pushed in by a series of very sensual seducers, some grotesque little rotund abominations that cause you to get sick if you even got close to them, and some extremely beefy, punchy dudes, and one particularly threatening individual in particular, which, if you listen back to the other one, had a habit of shifting through different personalities as it fought, and shifted through different abilities. I don't know if anyone noticed. Towards the end of this, something quite significant happened. The Sultan's wife and all of his children were kidnapped. And the Sultan got to hold his wife one last time before she passed away. After that, you were basically healed up to the point where you were no longer in imminent danger of death, and you were escorted back to the center of the town, where you saw the corpse of the slowly dying body of an ancient silver dragon, which I think you all made the connection was actually the pastry lady, the elf who ran the bread shop and who sold you all those delicious pastries. It was actually the secret ancient silver dragon living in the town.
Yeah, I was pissed at you about it, you asshole.
Yes.
Asshole!
I did throw in a nugget of lore to be there, and I don't think any of you caught it. But we're going to skip. Just before we ended, one of the Sultan's bodyguards had come running up and said that Marcus was back, but the guy looked utterly distraught, and has just said that the Sultan needs to follow him, and the Sultan has set off a dead run following this guy. Are you guys going to follow?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
As you run through the town, you're running north towards where you know there to be a small, well, not a small, but like a fairly mid-sized, like communal garden type thing. It's like a hangout for like couples and things like that. And as you're running through this town, you can see just the detritus of people recovering from an attack. There's people banding each other's wounds, people crying over dead loved ones. There's people desperately trying to put out fires everywhere. You notice that there doesn't seem to be any evidence of dead enemy stuff, aside from claw marks in the wall, burn marks on on timbers of wood. It's almost as if any trace of them has vanished.
Because that's not creepy.
And as you're running up to the garden, you see the remaining bodyguards to the left. Amir and Mr. Sergeant, you noticed that out of the cadre of 12, oh no, it wasn't 12, it was out of the 15 that have accompanied you, only 5 have survived. And these are guys that you all know, well, that Amir and the Sergeant would know more, are the best of the best. Like, these are heroes unto themselves, and only 5 of them have survived. And it becomes very apparent that they are all battered, like their armor is dented, and just scrape. Some of them are missing pieces of armor entirely. Their weapons, like the great halberds that they wield, are just chipped and cracked, and they are all helmetless. And they are looking upon a sight that is shaking them to their core. And as they hear the Sultan running up behind them, they all turn and gently step aside as the rest of you are like a good few feet back from the Sultan, but you see him stumble mid-step, almost falling to his knees right there and then.
Oh, that can't be good.
And you just hear him whisper, "No, you as well." He picks up and goes on running, and he slides on his knees to a stop before the dying body of Marcus Vanklever. Or
What?
Vanklever,
Oh,
whoever.
shit.
Yeah.
But he was alive when we saw him, right?
Exactly.
The last
Oh,
you saw
fucking-
him, the Sultan had sent him to retrieve his children with his displacer beast.
Yeah.
And
But it wasn't that long ago. Like, it was literally within moments, right?
yeah,
Jesus.
it's been a little while since he was sent away. But now he's returned, you see the Sultan like desperately trying to staunch his wounds, but held in Marcus's arms is the ravaged, clawed, bitten, and limp body of his displaced beast.
Fuck.
His
No.
oldest friend. And Marcus's head kind of bobs up, blinks his eyes a few times. Ah, there you are, lad. I could not leave her to them. I had to get her back. It's all right, mate. It's all right, Marcus. We'll get you patched up. You can't. No, you're not gonna die here. I can't lose you as well. Marcus brings his hand up and just places it on the Sultan's shoulder. All right, lad. I've had my time. They went. I followed their tracks. They went beyond the wall.
Oh, shit.
What must be done? Let an old warrior die. It's an honor to serve you, my Sultan. And his head kind of lolls backwards, and you notice for the first time, arranged behind him is a bas relief of all the heroes, all of his old friends. And it seems to be a carving of a dinner held just after their victory. They were all cheering, sharing stories, and it seems like a very personal moment captured in stone. And Marcus looks at this, turns to the Sultan, and goes, "Say, lad, did I ever tell you about time?" And his head sinks down, and he lets out his final breath.
Oh, no.
Chris, I fucking hate you. I hope you realise that.
You didn't even
The
know him!
Sultan,
It's not the point.
the Sultan sinks back on his haunches, and kind of like buries his head in his hands. And you can all tell that was the weight of everything is starting to settle on him. I can't do this. Lost everything. I have lost them all. And then you hear a voice from behind you. And this is what you're going to do now that you've lost them all. Sit here wallowing in your pity like a fool. One of the bodyguards is swept aside, and the figure of Genevieve walks.
She's still alive. Holy crap.
She's covered in burns. She looks like a walking burnt corpse,
Damn.
but her voice is still strong. She walks up to the Sultan, grabs him by the lapel, and pulls him off the ground, and fucking cracks him round the face. It's like full open hand slap. Goes, you are doing the memory of your wife poorly. Sat here wallowing in your pity. Yes, your friend is dead. Your oldest friend is dead. Your children are gone, and your wife is gone. But she turns and points to the village. But your people need you. You cannot afford to wallow in your pity. There will come a time where you will have to deal with your grief. It is not now, and it is not today. You need to be the man which your wife knew you to be, the father your children know you to be, and the leader your people know you are. Are you going to be that man, or are you going to just wallow here like a sad little boy? Salt's face creases. You dare talk to me that way? You dare in this man? You dare! He thrusts out a hand and just a blade of pure magical light just snaps into his hand. His like up his arm forms a multitude of like luminous plate armor. From his back, a massive set of ethereal wings springs out. I have just lost everything. You dare talk to me that way? Because I do. Because I'm the only one with the balls to do so. Now
Hey,
you're
I'm
going
on
to
3
strike me
HP.
down.
I ain't talking to you like that.
Tom just stands there with his like kind of blade in hand, just looks at Blade, looks at her, and looks at the rest of you. With one last look at Marcus and goes, "You know what they have done to take me. You know what this means, what they've done. I do. We have preparations to make. Very well then. If it is
It's time
war
for
they
a
want,
training montage.
it is war they will have." He spins his hand, and all of the armor, the weapon, and the wings snaps away in an instant. And he turns and goes, "You there, Captain Phalanx." Like a very young-looking member of the guard. Just goes, "Yes, sir. Congratulations. You're my new captain of the guard. Please
Fucking hell.
gather up everyone who can walk. Gather up what supplies you can. Send out birds and runners to all the major cities. Tell them to muster for war and send representatives to the capital. I will broker no argument in this. Let everyone in the village take the time they need to grieve, but impose on them the need that we need to leave. Town cannot be defended in the state it's in. We need to go." He turns to the rest of you. He goes, You helped defend my children, and you were with my wife at the end. He steps towards you all and actually bows to you all. I know you did all you could, and you chose to stay instead of running. You have my thanks for that.
We ain't no
He
bitches.
stands back up and goes, "Now, we need to get back into the village. Help out where you can. And maybe I will have a job for you at the end of this. There are many messages that need to be sent. Many people that need to be summoned. But we must first take care of our wounded and our dead." He turns to look at you, to Yotel. And I believe now that your priest is gone, a responsibility falls to you and your two remaining brothers.
Yes.
And we shall get to it. He nods to you all and just walks away towards the middle of the village. Trying... who wants to make an insight check on him, actually? See how he's doing.
I'll try.
I'll give it a go. Why not? It's a roll.
Yeah.
Nice one, Vix.
I'll bag yourself.
Insight.
16 better be enough.
Oh god, I got a -1 in insight, but fuck it.
Hey, it wasn't too bad to say you have -1.
Yeah. Not too bad.
The Vox, you can tell that he's definitely feeling a lot, but he's pulling himself together. And
Yeah.
Mia, I'm going to give you a little bit of a boost because you're more familiar with it because you've been at court a few times. But
Yep.
you and Mr. Valance, you can tell that this is an utterly broken man, barely holding himself together. It would probably only take one more loss to completely shatter him.
Protect anyone else
That's
he loves in
less
a bubble.
ideal.
Did
So,
anyone make his
yeah.
check? So I can't see it.
He did. He rolled an 18.
Ah, nice.
I think you might still be
Did you
whispering, Tom.
whisper that roll?
Yeah, he must have,
Yeah,
because I can't
yeah,
see it
I think
either.
was.
Sorry,
Rude.
my bad.
Rude.
Rude. Cheating. Cheating. Cheating.
All that matters is I saw it.
I know. I'm fucking kidding.
Inside whisper, because then suddenly when Chris is saying different things to us, we're just like, well, hang on, did someone roll worse than me? Is that why they've got? Is that why they're suddenly detecting that this person's actually evil or wonderfully good?
Yeah.
I'm
This is
evil.
our insight. This is my insight, not anyone else's.
Hmm? Right, you have the free run of the village. You can choose to go and check on people. You can go try to help people. Whatever you would like to do.
I have to recover.
I'm
Is,
guessing. Go on.
we all have to recover. Some of us died.
Oh,
Is
true,
Marcus
true.
in front of us?
I died.
true. I died.
I got
Take an
back.
election.
Is Marcus's body in front of us still?
He is currently being tended to by a couple of the other bodyguards who are sort of trying to like get him to a point where they can take him back to the middle of the village for like a funeral pyre.
I think as a fellow guardsman, or as a man of the law, or soldier, or whatever, a man in uniform, Valence will probably come over to the old guy and just lean down over him and say a small prayer to Horatio, and just say, "Just one more thing for you, my friend. Just one more." And it'll be done.
You do feel a rush of contentment roll through you, and you feel yourself recovering a little bit. So you gain 2 more hit points.
Very kind.
You are rewarded for your prayer. And you do notice a deep look of respect from the 2 bodyguards attending to him, and they give you a respectful nod, which is not something they give out fairly often to people to watch.
Valence will limp, bloodied and necrotically attacked after the rest of the party, wherever they go.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
I'm
what is
gonna-
everyone?
Sorry.
Is there...
We'll do the paladin first. Let's be good.
I'm going to go around to all the dead and see the last rites.
Okay. You say your last rites. Everyone seems a little bit wary of you because I don't think you put your helmet back on.
What?
I
You
did...
never put your helmet back on.
No, the priest gave me a mask.
Ah, yes, he gave you a mask, but that does not cover your entire head.
It's enough.
So you still look a little bit out of place, but considering the armor and word has begun to spread of what you've done, it's not like people are outright fleeing from you, and they do seem to be very thankful you are saying the last rites, and you do a performance check.
He's going to do it through the power of dance.
Yeah, do a performance check.
Sorry.
And then
Voodoo,
I-
voodoo, bitch.
do a performance check, and then I want you to add your religion bonus to it.
I don't think I need to, but okay.
Nice.
I think it's good, to be honest.
Hang on, let me
We'll
add
see
my
what we
religion to it. 25.
Fine, nice.
Nice.
You perform it word for word perfectly.
Thank goodness for that.
Your diligent studies and the teachings of your master have borne fruit. And you do not skip a beat, you never stumble over your words, you do all the correct rites. You even manage to mix in a few racially specific customs. Like, you know that sometimes different races have like gods or like different customs, and you manage to kind of weave that in the prayer. And
Yep.
people are fucking stunned by this because like this is not just a town of humans. There are dwarves, there are gnomes, there are dragon, like there are dragonborn that live here.
There was
He's
a
cultured.
dragon.
There are, yeah, there's two dragon. There's a fair few dragonborn knocking around here. There's even some there's half elves knocking around. So they're all very great for you, and because of that performance role, you again, a bit like the sergeant, get a rush of contentment roll through you, and you get, because your connection with your god is still in like its fledgling state. It's still difficult to interpret what you're feeling, but you do feel a sense of like contentment and gratitude and pride almost from your god, and you gain 5 hit points.
Okay. I like how you wrote down the last rites for me. You didn't get me read them.
We will do that in a bit. This is like you're doing like very quick last rites to like other people. Like I will have you say the last rites in just a minute. I have a moment.
Okay.
But, what's everyone else doing? Let's see, Miss Fox. What are you up to?
I imagine even though she hasn't got any spell slots left, she'll still be looking around for injured and trying to still help, even though she can't like heal.
Always roll your medical.
Yeah.
Would you like? Okay, roll your medical. We'll see how well you do patching people up.
No.
No.
Oh, they
you're-
did.
I mean, you're trying, but you're not. I imagine you're kind of still dealing with a bit of shell shock.
Well, I am
What's
one.
just-
I am 1 hit point away from like collapsing. So
Yeah.
If
So
I
you.
might suggest, this is probably the first time Vix has seen. Shy has
Fox.
Fox.
has
Box.
seen.
Go through all of her
like,
characters, yeah.
epic transformation, like Warzone type of damage.
Yeah, she's only used to like accidental damage, not.
Not
You're probably
straight
used
up.
to
Like,
like
Yeah.
healing for a village and just like, oh yeah, oh fuck it, you fucking idiot, you lopped your foot off with a scythe again. Here you go, it's back on. Get the fuck out of here. Next.
Yeah.
And that's the highlight of your month.
yeah, I mean, people can tell that you are trying. I will say, because you, Vox, have garnered quite a bit of like kind of good feeling in the village. You haven't got into trouble while you've been here. You've interacted with people. You've made friends. So people can tell that you're trying, but they're like, it's okay. Go take care of yourself first.
I mean, she's gonna like
someone
no,
actually,
like no.
someone actually says, let's see, you were attempting to patch, to bandage an old man's leg, like a fucking grisly fucking claw wound in his leg, and you were just fucking making a fucking hash of it. You were not doing well at all. The old lady is basically taking the bandages out of your, like the old lady who you presume to be his wife, is taking the bandages out of your hand and starts to do it herself. If you want to help, dear, go check the bakery. We sent the children there.
Oh.
We felt that that was the right thing to do. Why don't you go and check and see if the children are okay?
I'll do that, thanks. And then she'll kind of get up and just kind of shakily kind of.
Yeah.
Obviously, because she's not going to be massively steadily footed anyway, like from it. So, but she will head over to the bakery.
Okay, you go over to the bakery. Bearing in mind where the bakery is, it's like smack bang, like there. So it's right in the middle of like all the devastation.
Yeah.
Mm.
This building is somehow miraculously untouched.
Hey.
And as you get within about 5 feet of the door, you feel a tingle run through your body, as if you just stepped over like a magical barrier or something.
Yeah, that would have been, and I think she would have known it would have been what's her face.
Oh yeah, it's very much a familiar energy.
Yeah.
And you open the door to find the interior of the bakery pretty much in the exact same condition as when you last saw it. Like nothing's changed. There's a few different like buns and breads out because it was like the end of the day. It was like the evening when this happened, so there's more like savoury stuff and like snack stuff out and about. And you notice huddled in the middle of the room are basically all the children of the village. And about 2 feet in front of them is a wooden staff rammed into like kind of in between the like the slate floor, sticking straight up. All the children look. How best to describe this?
Just going to the loo. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, they look like they're just contently staring off into space,
Like they've zoned out.
as if nothing. Yeah, like they're zoned out. Yeah.
I think it once she'd seen like everything and seen that the kids are okay, I think out of just pure exhaustion she's just gonna like just drop to her knees, just like, oh fuck.
Roll odds or evens for me.
Roll or choose?
Choose. Sorry, choose.
I'll stick with odds. I normally stick with odds, so sod it.
Let's get one of the big boy dice.
Oh no, I don't like the sound of that.
As you tumble to the floor, your knees just buckling underneath you as the impact of what has happened and the physical and mental exhaustion straight up overcomes you. You fall straight forward. One of your arms flings out. I'm going to say your right hand flings out in front of you, and like the back of your fingers brush the staff.
Okay.
And you feel a comforting energy from it. And even at the point where your consciousness starts to slip away and you start to fall into unconsciousness, the familiar scent of baking bread fills your nostrils, and you feel your hand almost by itself reach out and wrap itself around the staff.
Am I getting a new wax stick?
You are indeed getting a new wax stick.
Yeah, wax.
This is a wax stick that I have taken inspiration from Fitzban's Treasury of Dragons. And they have a very special level of artifact. Basically, the longer you have it, the more attuned you become to it, and the more you use it, it becomes more powerful. It's like a scale.
Ah, that's so
I'm very
cool.
excited to see what you do with it.
Everybody, well, not everybody, but
When you regain consciousness,
yeah.
it will tell you what it does. For the moment, you are
Out
very
cold.
soundly asleep. Let's see.
I get a new wax stick.
Make sure I make a note. Otherwise, we're not calling it a wax stick. It does have a name.
But wax stick.
Yes, the staff of an ancient silver dragon that's older than most of this kingdom is just the weapon of this dragon is devolved into wax.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Next up, let's see, Pete or
Up to you.
Bray or Amir. Let's do Amir first. What would Amir be up to? I'm curious.
Oh, that's a tricky one because obviously he's a rich boy. He's not used to being in such a helpless. Well, I say not helpless situation, but not being in such a. This is as far out of his comfort zone as I can imagine him being.
Yes, this is extremely out of his wheelhouse. Okay, I'll give you a couple of options.
Oh yes,
You
please,
can
thank you.
try and help the others. You can say follow around the paladin, maybe help him out. He seems to be perfectly fine on his own. The sergeant's kind of staggering around a little bit, not too sure what he's up to. The druid, the satyr has gone off and you kind of lost sight of her. You're not entirely sure where she is. I imagine Bray, the little fairy barbarian, is just kind of hovering there. There's like out of sorts for a moment. It does occur to you, however, that you've not seen a lot of your fellow nobles. And in fact, the one constant presence you have known for many, 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 many years is also absent.
My manservant.
Who is your manservant?
Not Jeeves.
Did we establish a name for my manservant?
I
Jeeves.
cannot remember what the fuck we called
Jeeves.
that dude.
It's Jeeves.
Fuck we
Like
called-
Rick.
Lack of remembering, I'm going to call him Jeeves. For
Yeah.
No, fuck it, Jives. We're calling him Jive.
Aww.
Okay.
Fucking jives.
But Jeeves.
Much cooler version of Jeeves.
Jeeves is cooler and younger brother.
Yeah.
It's Jeeves with a pair of sunglasses and a goatee.
Which a reference to bottom, but fair enough, we'll go this route. But yes, no, I will attempt first list of on my list of priorities is to make sure that Jives is well and truly okay.
You make your way over to the like where like the like I'm going to call it the noble quarter, like where the noble in big quotation marks, like kind of buildings are. They're basically just bigger, fancier buildings of all the townhouses. There's not a massive discrepancy in like rich or poor in this town, but you notice that a lot of the actual buildings themselves are actually look like they don't look like they've sustained much damage. You go
Suspicious,
into the one
okay.
that you've been housed in. As you open the door, out the corner of your eye, you can see the building because you, I believe, were housed in like this one here. As you look at the other one, oh, hang on. You hear me?
Yeah.
Who left?
Okay.
Heard everything.
Alright.
We're
As
trained.
you look at this one here, Tom, you basically see what looks like all of the nobles basically just like peeking out over like kind of like over the windowsills of all the windows. You notice that not all of them are there, but most of them are. It's almost as if they ran and hid.
Hmm.
And as you're thinking that, you notice that surrounding these buildings are the bodies of all the bodyguards they brought. Almost as every single one of these bodyguards were locked outside and were just left to die. Your one, however, is open. You open it, rush inside. All the nobles that were situated in your building, you notice that pretty much all of them are dead. There are bodyguards lying everywhere. There are bodies of nobles strewn all over the place. And two things hit you about this. One, holy shit, noble family's dead. Two, wait a fucking minute. They were all from the mercantile houses. The ones stationed in your house were the mercantile guilds and one of the city-state weapons manufacturers. So, quite a sizable chunk of that family line is now gone.
Huh. I might have to get the guard cap. I might have to get Valence in on this to get him to pick his detective brain on this. But yes, first things first. Is there anyone
As you
alive in
rush
this
to your
building?
room, you are. What is your AC, please?
My AC, as it presently is 13.
You are dump tackled. You are just dump tackled to the floor. An arm is placed across across your throat, and a blade is pushed into your face.
Uh-oh.
And you say, "Oh, I do apologize, sir. Sorry, let's get you up here." It's just like you notice G's kind of standing up, just like wielding a very deadly-looking but utilitarian-looking short sword with surprising ease. And he
Of
just
course he
basically
is.
just like he spins it in his grasp and rams it into the wall. like so far that he just let it go and it stays there, and he just kind of picks you up and kind of like this. I do apologize, sir. I thought you were never one of those ruffians trying to break in. I do trust you're okay, sir. I heard what happened to the rest of them, and well, they tried to break into your quarters. I gathered to kill you and steal your belongings. I've dealt with them, sir. Don't you worry about that. Now, you look extremely beat up, young man. What happened out there?
So obviously, for a moment, he's nonplussed. It's just like, I mean, goddamn, dude. But yeah, no, he's after that, he's literally going to launch into a story about everything that's happened. The battle in the streets, the kidnapping of the royals, the Sultan losing his shit. We need to. The village is fucked. We need to start helping people out as best we can. Not too worried about my possessions, although I'm very thankful that you for what you've done. Although I would prefer you didn't lay down your life just for some mere trinkets and fancy clothing.
Oh, you're too kind, sir. It is my duty as ransom to you and bondsman to your family to do my part, sir. What you say has happened, that is very disturbing. Such a thing has not happened for 30 years, since the last Sultan decided he was going to go all power-hungry dictator. Barely survived that, but who survived this one? Now, say people are injured. Don't worry. Old Jives knows his ways. I wasn't always a bondsman for your father, you know. And he kind of like scurries up without a word, disappears through like a door. Just like opens it, like a seemingly nondescript section of wall. Just like opens it, walks through it, is gone. You hear like frantic like.
My man said MI5 or some shit. What the fuck's
Oh,
going
no,
on?
it's here. Oh no, here it is. There we go. Everyone needs one of these. Those two. Need one of these. I'll take that just in case. He comes back out, closes closes the door of the wall. It looks like a normal wall again. And he goes, "But I have more than enough Medicaid, medical things here that we can patch up quite a few people, I think. I'll say this. The mayor of this town might be a bit of a blowhard and might be a bit loosey-goosey for my taste, but he keeps things well provisioned. Shall we, sir, or do you wish to change outfits, sir?
No, that's not important right now. The people need our help. One other thing, though, I'm going to pick his brain about what happened with the other noble houses. Obviously, they're picking out their fine, but their bodyguards are strewn about and slaughtered. What the fuck is that about?
As you're picking his brain about that, he's walking past with you back towards like the way out. He's not giving the bodies a second glance and simply kind of stepping over them as if they're just pebbles in the street that are kind of in his way. He's completely uncaring, not uncaring, but it's almost as if he's seen something like
I was
this
about to say,
before.
this seems
Bring him.
I'm uncomfortable how comfortable my manservant is among death and destruction. Was he just like, oh,
Hey,
D&D
it changed him,
equivalent
man.
of the SAS
It
or
changed
something?
him.
He kind of looks around and goes, well, unfortunately, the
What was the
bodyguards here
manservant
decided.
of Archer called? Oh,
Can't remember.
Woodhouse.
He's seen some
Woodhouse.
things, man.
Okay, yeah. So my manservant is now Jives Woodhouse.
Hmm.
As you're walking back, he does bring you up to speed on. Basically, the long and short of what happened in this particular building was that these things were breaking in. They didn't have time to lock the doors and shore themselves up. Even though Jives did try to convince the mercenaries to basically go out and hold the line with the rest of the town guard and the bodyguards, and the Sultan's bodyguards. The nobles' bodyguards are like, no, we get paid to protect these people. The building's pretty fucking solid. We're locking ourselves in. And you get the sense that Jives might have disagreed with the bodyguards. Not all of the bodyguards have claw marks and crushed skull. A couple of them might have stab wounds that look suspiciously like they might have been done with a short sword, but you're not entirely sure. There might
We're
have
gonna
been
gloss
a
over that.
couple. Yeah, so we're going to gloss over that one. But yeah, Giants held them off the best they could, and then suddenly they all started disappearing, and he just basically waited for you to come back. As you walk out the door, he notices that in the other building, all the other nobles are kind of like holed up, and for the first time, he almost breaks character. He's always been like, yes, sir, right away, sir, I'll go do this, sir. But that mask of the dutiful manservant cracks for a moment, and a look of utter contempt and disgust crosses his face. He spits into the dirt and turns away from that building. And he goes, and then just bam, the mask of dutiful manservant is back again. Oh well, sir, I think we should go to the centre of the village. That seems where they're all congregating and where we will be of most help.
So Amir is going to stand there. He's going to regard these houses, anyone who's poking out, and he just turns his head slightly to Woodhouse. He's just like, "Do you know the names of all the individuals holed up in these buildings?"
He doesn't really look back at you. He's just like kind of tottering off, just what you now probably know to be the illusion of the tottery old manservant. Like, oh yes, of course, I know everyone that came on. It wouldn't be much of a manservant if I didn't keep up on who was traveling with us, would I, sir? He says that just a little bit too loud.
Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to hide. Amir's not even going to attempt to hide this. It's just straight up. I want the names of each and every one of these less than noble people, and we will pass those on to the higher ups, and express how disappointed we are in their callousness towards
turns
their
back
bodyguards
towards you.
Sorry, yeah.
He turns back towards you, and for the first time in what you feel like will probably be your whole life, he properly locks eyes with you and gives you a grin that you wouldn't be surprised to see on the face of a pirate. Gives you a wink, and then ends right back into it. Oh, of course, I will do that. I will do that as soon as I have time, but I think we have more pressing needs, and it seems that they are perfectly comfortable where they are. We'll deal with them in due time.
In due time, with us, we're quite right, of course. Let us help those who need our help most now. So, with the flourish of his blood-stained cape, he will just smartly turn his back to the houses and just march off to the village. He's going to be, of course, Woodhouse is not carrying all the supplies. He's going to immediately bundle some up and just like, no, Woodhouse, we will do this together.
Very well, sir, as you wish. I quite like Woodhouse. He's going to be a recurring character.
I hope so. Although Woodhouse, I believe they've got plenty of supplies that would benefit the village, wouldn't they?
Oh, I'll collar one of the bodyguards. I'll collar one of the bodyguards. I'll have them
no, I have a better idea. There was
a
particularly robust fairy that we could employ the service of later.
For the first time in your life, you see Woodhouse double take for a moment. What? A strong... I mean, a strong fairy, sir?
Oh, Woodhouse, I have a story to tell you. And he's probably just as we fade, he's going to launch into everything the whole fight in a little bit more detail now, describing the prowess of his comrades in arms.
Okay, and last but not least, actually, not last, we are going to do Bray, and then we're going to do the last. So, Bray, what are you doing?
Is there anyone trapped under rubble and stuff? Like,
you know what? Do a perception check.
okay. Perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just trying. There it is. Eh,
I mean, you're still pretty dazed from the fight, and
Yeah.
you are. I'm going to say you're still dealing with coming down off of the adrenaline high of going into like a proper rage for the first time.
Mhm.
But, actually, would Bray have gone into rages before, or is this like a first time things happen?
I don't know. I don't know. She's probably used to raging, but not to that caliber.
I was gonna say, to be fair, she
Yeah,
was
that
raging
makes
so
sense.
much she didn't even realise everybody else had been essentially thrown away from it, like even being close to her, whereas she was just so focused on killing this one monster.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would say you are feeling quite lethargic. It's difficult to focus, but you can see that there are people like trying to like move rubble aside fairly close to you.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
say
go.
you are, yeah, you are at this building here. See that?
I don't think I can see it. Hold on.
There.
Is anywhere near? Oh, over there. Oh, I'll move myself over there then. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna start helping
You
them.
come across a woman, probably in her mid-30s, I'll say, covered in covered in soot. The only part of her that isn't covered in soot are the trail marks of her tears streaming down her face, and
Jesus.
she's like desperately pulling, like kind of like in some parts burning rubble aside. Like she doesn't give a fuck. This shit's on fire. Fuck, it's getting fucked off,
Yeah.
and she's desperately trying to claw her way through this thing, and you can hear her like just babbling something, but she's speaking so frantically you cannot make out what it is.
I'm just gonna come flying in and like get rid of the rubble as quick as I can, so she's not endangering herself.
Do a strength check for me.
Is that under the saves?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. You dive in and just fucking tear this rubble apart. As you're pulling it apart, you start to hear the sound of small voices calling for their mother.
Oh dear, the kids. Okay, these are kids that didn't make it to the bakery, I'm guessing.
Yes, a couple of them
Yeah.
didn't make it to the bakery, but
Oh, no.
most of them did.
Once the rubble's
As
clear
you-
enough, I'm gonna fly in and go grab them.
As you pull the last bit of rubble aside, you can see that there are two small children, ages
Yeah.
of 2, and
Oh.
and a very small baby,
Oh,
being
right.
held
Okay.
being held in the arms of a man who is quite clearly dead.
Shit. Okay.
And
Well,
the only reason he is, and it becomes very apparent the only reason these children have not been crushed by the rubble was the guy basically held the baby to his chest, got a metal rod, rammed it through his arm and over the top of his head, so that his own body weight kept it up.
right. So I'm gonna get the kids out quick first, all at once. Like I imagine I can juggle the two of them, and fly them up.
Yeah, you can quite. Yeah. You fetch the kids out, take them back to the
Yeah.
woman. She
And I'm gonna-
immediately just kind of like snatches them both out and just like devolves into crying. So, where's my husband? Where is he?
One moment, I'm gonna fly down, and gonna kind of like push the rubble off the top of him, if I can, and then very
Yeah.
delicately bring him up off of the pole.
You bring him up off the pole, like it's not pleasant. It's
No.
grisly.
Yeah.
Like the guy, like bear in mind he was under burning rubble, so he is like very charred as well.
Yeah.
He's not a pretty sight.
Yeah, I'll try to bring him up as delicately as I can and place him down as gently as I can at the feet and just say, I'm sorry, he didn't. Sorry, go to character. So he didn't make it like a lot of people, unfortunately, but he died saving your children. And I rest him by her feet and kind of closes his eyes for him, so he looks peaceful at least, so the kids can't be distressed by his eyes just being glued open or anything like that. Yeah.
She does start to devolve into like racking sobs. And odds or evens?
I'm gonna go with evens.
out of the just like the smoke, and bear in mind it's still quite late at night, so like out in
Yeah.
the dark stomps a armored figure.
I kind of brace
In-
myself, ready to protect them.
He holds up a hand. And goes, easy there, easy. As he gets closer, and like some of like the fire from the rubble and like torchlight, it's like ambient moonlight, does reveal him to be wearing pretty much the same armor as Yotam.
Oh,
Just
okay.
with slight differences. So it's one of the other paladins of Naya.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, a fellow I'll say a paladin and Naya. I know one of them.
He goes to one knee beside the body, placing a hand on the corpse's chest. He looks up toward you, and you can see the eyes just like kind of like behind the helm, just like kind of like studying you for a moment. You gonna get checked. Yeah, you feel that like you just got sized up. Like you have been very thoroughly sized up. Are you a threat? Do you have any ill intention? Don't think so. You're cool. I'm not going to kill you right now.
I mean, I was about to defend these people, so.
Yeah. He glances towards the mother and the children. Goes, "Did you pull them out of the rubble?"
Is he asking the mother or me?
No, he's asking you. He's asking you.
Oh, yeah. I'll say yeah. Good.
Very well. You're stronger than you look.
I get
I
that a
will
lot.
have your assistance. He stands up and just like very like with a gentleness that belies his size and his armor, he gently lifts the woman up and says, "We will take your husband into the village. You will have the last rites. We'll go into Naya's home, and he will wait for you and your children. Come now. We will bring him." And he gently guides her towards the middle of the village. Turns to you and goes, "Bring the body."
Okay. I'm gonna flutter down and grab the man and flutter after him.
Yeah.
Floating dead corpse, everybody!
Do not do a marionette show with a guy's dead body.
No, I'm not. Hey kids, wanna see dead body? Do that.
I used to be in the circus. It's the only way I know how to deal with trauma.
Jesus.
Juggling the dead body. I don't know. Nah, I wouldn't do that. I'm not that disrespectful, Jesus.
My old D&D
Okay.
group were.
Hey?
Jesus.
Oh yeah, the old one.
Yeah, he's the. Although it wasn't a marionette, it was a hand puppet.
Oh.
Jesus, dude.
I use Big B's big hand in a very unique circumstance.
Hello there, my name is Kermit.
Right. Let's see. Mr. Valance, you are left to your own devices for the moment. What are you doing?
Can Valence sort of hobble over to Yotal?
Mhm.
As he's doing the, is he doing the rites?
He is currently in the middle of doing the rites, yes. He's sort of
Well,
going between people, like the different groups of people, and he's administering last rites, doing a little bit of healing out in the mechanic.
As if he's finished one of them, he'll just wait for a moment and he'll just say, I've got a report to my watch house. We need to see who's left. You can come if you like, but I'm gonna head off. All right, I'll see you soon. And he's gonna head over to the watch house.
Okay.
Okay. You head over to the watch house. Where's my list of fuckers I have? There they are. Right. You head over to the watch house. You notice as you're walking through, like people giving you space, but only because you're almost in the way and they're just like walking around you. You'll notice is this the very outside of the watch house, there's a lot of blood.
Hmm. That's concerning. It didn't used to have a lot of blood outside it.
This isn't something I recognise.
Just didn't leave it like this.
That's new.
Are you going to go in? I gather
Ooh.
you're just entering the
Carol.
watch house here.
Say again?
I gather you're just entering the watch house.
Yeah, I'll carefully open the front door.
As you carefully open the door, like you're opening it, and like, you can almost hear this like the door sort of got slick of blood leaking out. You take a step in, and it's very dark inside. And there's almost musty scent in the air. You can smell just blood and iron on the air. But it is almost utterly dark in here. You're going to need to light something to see.
I shall cast light on my watch badge.
Cast light on your watch badge, and as you look up, you see everyone that was a member of the watch. All the ones that you'd met, all the ones that you hadn't met, are almost displayed in a mocking fashion. All along the walls, along the tables, almost skinned and displayed as if they're between shifts. They're writing paperwork with their own bone.
Jesus Christ.
And crouched in the middle of the room is Sienna.
Sienna again.
She's the changeling that got very heavily wounded saving you from the carnival.
Oh, yeah.
She sat in the middle of the room and she sees you. She looks up at you and spreads her arms. They're happier this way.
What
And her
the
head
fuck?
flips backwards from the jawline, flips backwards as her spine comes out the
Goddamn, Hayley.
opening in her mouth, blossoms into a flower, and detonates.
What the
Blood
fuck?
bursts across the room,
Oh, pike.
and the last thing you see is the outline of a half-orc that you recognize to be Captain Salazar, grabbing you by the lapel and throwing you backwards out of the guardhouse as he too disappears in a mist of blood and
Oh, fuck.
Jesus.
these
Fuck.
fuckers don't mess around.
This changing wasn't related to Zeke, was she?
Oh no.
Okay. So that's one way to bring the Blood Hunter in. Which I know, whatever.
So you are now laying in the street as almost a river of blood just kind of gently pours out of the doors of the watch house.
I think.
Okay, people, move along. There's nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. Please disperse. He might now that has happened. Open the door again and just see what has happened to the inside of the watch house.
As you open the door again, all the blood's gone. The bodies aren't there anymore. The only thing that's left, very out of place, is the shrine to Horatio, which has been set in the middle of the room, and the carving of Horatio has been very deliberately figured.
They
Ah,
cut
there
his
really is
cigar
nothing
off.
to see here.
It's been very deliberately disfigured and set in the middle of the room. None of the bodies that were there previously are there. Just all the blood's gone. All the elaborate macabre setup has disappeared. It looks like the last time you saw it, when you last left it this morning.
Oh, that is freaky. So which one was the real one? You'll never know.
Mm.
I'm so confused, but also morbidly disturbed.
Shrine disfigured?
Yep.
No, how is the shrine disfigured?
Let's see. The head has been very deliberately sawed off, and basically everything you'd expect to see from it has been either deliberately disfigured in a very slight way, or has been like almost macabrely twisted. So it's not, and it doesn't look like all of it's been done with, say, hand tools. It doesn't look like it's been done with a knife, saw. Some of it looks almost as if it's been unnaturally twisted out of shape by some form of magic.
Mm. Well, there's nothing I can do about that. So I think I shall take the main parts of the shrine, and I'll just tidy them away so they're no longer a shrine, and then I'll go back out and I'll find the rest of the party, and I will
You
remember
tidy
this.
away the shrine. Yeah. And as you're tidying the shrine away, you sort of like almost not instinctively, but like out of habit, you sort of like try to put it back where you think it will go. And you notice that lent up against a alcove is a very nice looking truncheon. It's it's made of black wood. It's got like a very nice fucking steel handle. It's a very tasty bit of equipment. Are you going to take it?
Yeah, go on. I'll pick it up, and just put it hanging off my belt with my other truncheon.
Okay. Then I will let you know what that does in due time. Right. That's all of my watch house people dead. Good to know
Dead.
you. See you later. We may have recurring people. What happens? It depends what happens with everything else. Anyway, a little bit of time is now passed. I'm going to say, Miss Vox, you are sort of shaken awake a little bit by like a small pair of hands, or like a few little pairs of hands. You are very gently shaken awake by several children, and it's a few of the children that you have actually gotten to know a little bit. Some of them have even interacted with you. You've played with a few of them, and they're just gently shaking you awake. And you notice as you stand up, you're like unconsciously leaning on like a very long staff. It's made of like twisted white birch wood, and
The wax stick.
at the top of this staff, at the top of this staff is an intricately formed, almost flower-like lattice work, and in the middle of this lattice work, a very small silver gem. It's not emitting any light or anything. It's just like, oh, there's a gem in there. It's like floating in this little lattice work. And that's now yours. You can either choose to leave it where it is, or you can take it with you.
I don't know because I want a new wax stick, but it might be helpful. I then again, the kids probably won't be able to use it anyway if I left it.
Well, no, leaving it to the children probably would be a good idea.
Yeah,
Like an unimaginable magic power to children. Yes,
Yeah.
that won't go badly at all.
yeah.
You
Then
take it with you?
yeah, she'll take it with her. She would have probably like done what I just did. Like, oh, maybe I should leave it. It might help them. And it's like, actually, no, kids with magic.
Do
Maybe
a
not.
history. Do a history check for
History.
with advantage.
What's advantage? So I'm just trying to bloody find it. There it is. Oh well, 12 and 12.
12 and 12. I'm going to say that's enough. You, as you're like ushering children out, and you turn back into the room fully to like get a good look over it and to make sure you haven't missed any of the kids. You realise that the staff in your hand was the one that was actually on display above the main hearth in the shop. So, logical to assume this was the baker's own staff. Somehow found its way to you and was used in keeping the children safe.
Right.
You all, I would say, at this point, you are all back in the main school. There are several funeral pyres being made up. There's a very large and elaborate one that's being made up for the Sultan's wife and Marcus, as well as his displacer beast, actually. You do notice the body of his displacer beast is also getting a fair amount of like reverence to it. Like, it's not just some animal that's getting tossed away. No, it is well known that the Sultan had a displacer beast as his oldest friend, and she's being shown the correct amount of reverence she deserves. While all of this is happening, Amir, you notice the nobles still haven't come out of that fucking house because they're being dickheads. I'm going to go for quick cigarette, and all of you can have role play time.
It's probably a good thing Nikita's not in this world, because if she was and she saw the nobles, she would go and there'd be no wall left for them to hide behind.
It'd be pretty much Amir. It's just like, hey, Nikita, you see that building over there? There's a bunch of bitches in there.
Oh, really?
Smells like bitch in here.
Bitch, as you say.
So yeah, no. Before the funeral gets off and we're all hung together, I am shit talking the fuck out of these nobles. Not outright shit talking. It's just like, oh, so did you know? Funniest thing, walk past these buildings with the nobles in, all their bodyguards outside, dead as can be. Could you believe? All of them inside, locked up, safe as houses. Peculiar, wouldn't you say?
Valence will disagree. He'll say, he'll be like, I don't see any problem with that. I mean, those of us who take the oath, we know what we are down for. They took the money to protect their people. It's
By
not.
being left
I'm not.
outside.
Look, it's a bad business, but that was their job.
Guards are not, they're
Just
still
like
people.
my job is about protecting people. Just like his job, and he points to Marcus, was about protecting the people. It is. It's not great. It is a bad business, as I said, but it is not a surprising business.
Then what the fuck? Then forgive my language. What the fuck is the point of being noble if you can't do anything with it? Walking waste is what that is. It's supposed to be better. It's supposed to do something with it. It's not just hide behind buildings.
I don't think there's any better or worse people. There's just people.
There is just people, but we should always try to strive above what we are. We can always be better.
All people are even in the end.
Not all people.
Oh.
Well, aren't you a ray of sunshine?
I would like to distance myself from my paladin's comments.
There's still good in the world. Just because there's evil doesn't mean there's no good either.
No,
Or
I
evil
meant
can
the end.
You mean the end?
Death. The end is in death. Death is death.
Exactly, we're all even in death.
Oh, even. I thought you said evil.
Ah,
Yeah,
even.
I thought it said evil.
Get you.
It's the accent. He gets it.
is it because you're a snake person? I'm sorry. That's very presumptuous of me. I can only apologise. For that.
You say he sounds really evil because you're a snake person.
Say things
Oh.
like
That was-
that again, you might get more of my teeth than you bargained for.
Oh yeah, now this sounds like how we should talk.
Now, Valence. Yotal,
I'm just
even.
I'm gonna disappear and actually get my helmet.
Do you even know where it is?
I left it somewhere in this vague direction.
This helmet as if to end his contribution to the conversation, as if he's going to his room.
Just be
Not-
be careful, Yotal.
I'll be
Are we-
fine.
Are we all together
Uh-huh.
at this point?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
well,
so. Yeah.
I need a place to sleep.
Because I imagine I walked up with a bunch of fucking kids and a big old fucking staff.
Oh, more pets.
No, children are not pets.
Fox, where did you get those children?
Mother of monstrosities,
Wow,
indeed.
no.
But by the rules of Vic, she's keeping them.
They're adorable to their enough of mine. But their
I'm keeping them.
but their parents are over there. Nope, I am their parents now.
I will send them into battle, but
Mom.
that is a sacrifice she is
Daddy,
willing to
help
make.
me.
No, you're conscripted, son.
I love you, new mummy.
No, that's called kidnapping and it's very much illegal.
Funeral.
There's one though that's just a midget that looks like a child.
You are in fact a
I'm a
hornswoggle.
dwarf.
Sir, you're
Hello.
half.
Hello, fellow children. I am also one of you.
This guy with a backwards like cap and a skateboard.
Yeah, like what is it? Steve Buscemi in that? I can't remember what he was in, but he's
2.5
anyway.
men.
No, there was one where
Oh,
he
wow.
was. I think it was like some skit show, and he just turns up at a college wearing his cap on backwards. Goes, "Hello, fellow."
Oh, so
High
that's not
school-
from. That's not the 2.5 men thing then.
It might be. I'm not sure. I just can't remember. There it is. How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah, that's it. I swear that's 2.5 men.
I don't believe it is.
Have we had
Where's
good
your
role
walk?
play, or are we just been posting memes?
Oh, we've
We
did a little
had
bit.
of roleplay.
They all seem to think
Yeah,
I'm
We
gonna
had an argument.
They all seem to think I want to kidnap the children.
Mother of monstrosities, living up to her name.
I mean, children are are technically monstrosities. I will give you that.
But just imagine the scenario of like, but the parents are over there. No, they're cute. They're mine.
She will send
I
them
am their
into
parents
battle.
now.
She will send them into battle, and that's
Walk
the
out.
sacrifice she is willing to make.
Just walk out. They are mine now. I have my own little army.
My parents are right there. Nope, nope.
No,
Magical
you are
flute
mine
that you
now.
play, do you, Vix?
Huh?
A little
little
magical
flute.
Pied Piper flute that
Yeah.
you play to steal the children away.
Totally.
Okay.
That's what the
As
stuff.
you had a little bit of role play, a little bit more time has passed. The funeral pyres are now all done.
I'm gonna go rest somewhere.
I kind of rested. I passed out for a bit.
Yeah.
You rested. I haven't.
I mean, it wasn't so much a rest by choice though, Pete. Like she literally passed out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now the funeral's going to happen.
She's gonna make a nest on Vox's head and sleep. there.
Unless you want to get yeeted, you better fucking not.
The mimic decides to try and eat you.
Yes, actually, yes. He curls up on the wrong shoulder.
I pry the jaws of the mimic open.
I proceed
Them too.
to flick him off my shoulder and leave him alone. Leave my baby
Wanna play the
alone.
boss music to that fight, or
You lose this fix.
Huh?
So you lose the fight.
okay? So anyway,
Anyway.
they were all gathered in the main town square. Surprisingly, the mayor has survived, as well as his wife. although they do look very much the worse for wear. No, the mayor is still like holding onto a sword that he doesn't look like he knows how to use properly. His wife, however, holding a battle axe that she's far more comfortable with. All the remaining bodyguards and the remaining paladins of the religions are now here. Oriana with the twins, the priestess of Balthazar with her two paladins are in attendance
Wait.
as well.
I thought the kids
You-
got kidnapped.
No,
No?
the kids
Oh.
did.
Oh yeah,
The
right. Okay.
adults' kids have been kidnapped. The rest of the children are fine.
Oh right.
Yotal, you are joined by your other two paladin brothers, who are just as beat up as you are. They still don't look pretty good. In fact, they look considered, even though you cannot really see their faces, you share an unspoken bond between the three of you. You can tell that they are fucking drained. Like they've been fighting, they've been trying to heal as much as they can. Like these guys are almost dead on their feet. And the Sultan comes in out of from wherever he's been with Genevieve in tow, and she's managed to get a hold of like a lot of clothes that managed to like cover up most of her burns, and she's holding an umbrella, just basically trying to shield herself as much as possible. It's now like very early morning, so the sun is starting to rise. You've all been up for a long time. Everyone's drained. Everyone is on the verge of just passing out from exhaustion. But last rites need to be adhered to. So, the Sultan goes around and is putting on the airs of the strong leader. He's making sure, like, you know, all the townsfolk are okay. He pays special attention to the normal townsfolk. Everyone who got wounded defending their homes, comforting, you know, grieving husbands, grieving wives, any children that lost both their parents. He made sure that they are passed on to people that they know that are friends or family before he finally gets round to the nobles. And Amir is the first noble he runs into, actually. And he notices that you and, you know, Mr. Woodhouse seem to be the only ones from the noble caste that are actually doing anything to fucking help. And he shakes you firmly by the hand, gives Woodhouse just like a clap on the shoulder and a nod, before turning away and basically thanking the rest of you for doing everything you can for the rest of the town. At this point, the rest of the nobles just suddenly just kind of like battened up behind Amir, and a couple of them try to push past you, Amir, but every time they try to get past you, somehow Woodhouse is there. Bumping off him, and it's like every time they try to push, like, oh, sorry, oh, I'm in your way, oh, old man, no knees, and all that. And you notice that the Sultan turns to see this commotion, and with one stern look, they all take a step backwards. It's like, ah, shit, we got fucked up.
I'm standing there, perfectly content. I'm just like, yep, no, I am very comfortable right here. Thank you.
Yes.
I am very good here.
Now all the pies are
I'm
set
not even
out.
going to look at these bitches behind me.
It is time for the last
Yeah,
one.
bitches.
The Sultan takes a torch and sparks it up with a tinted cylinder, not using any magic or any fancy tricks. Does it the old-fashioned way, and sets light to all the pies in succession, leaving his wife's and Maya's for last. And he seems to hesitate before the pyre, as if reluctant to light it. Genevieve takes a step forward, gently placing a hand on his shoulder, and says something to him that no one can hear. Turns to her and gives her a nod. And as she smiles, as if remembering something from a long time ago. Remembering words and actions and moments of him and his wife, him and Aya, him and Marcus have shared over the years. Gently tosses a torch into the fire, step back, and turns to Yotal and gives him the nod. It's your cue, Yotal.
Oh, sorry. Um, give me a sec. Give me a second. Sorry, my Discord's weird and likes to disappear. Okay. Nyath guide this one on the final journey. Nyath, take their hand and pass them through the final gate to your eternal realm. Nyath, we thank you for guiding and keeping them as they watch us in this world until we are reunited in your twilight embrace.
Wasn't the full one. Do the other verse.
Nyath, mistress of inscrutable depths, I ask forgiveness. Nyath, whose waves wear down stone and sand. Nyath washed its sins from this one and set them on the distant shore of the infinite spirit.
Everyone echoes your prayer. Your own fellow paladins of Diath, following it closely, doing all the necessary gestures. And as the wood crackles and burns, and smoke fills the air, and bows their heads, Sultan looking on wistfully into the flames, Genevieve looking contemplative, Oriana, the High Priestess of Parathis, openly weeping, comforted by her two bodyguards, goes over to the Sultan and wraps her arms around him as they comfort each other. You notice the priestess, Balthazar, seems to be trying, but ultimately failing to hold back her own tears. As everyone else bids their final farewells to their loved ones lost on this day. Slowly, flames consume their loved ones and send them off on that final journey. Everyone slowly filters away. Ones and twos and threes. One filters away. Pick up the shattered remnants of the lives they once lived. Their blissful tranquility shattered in a single night of violence. Sultan comes to you all and asks you to follow him and walks you all to the remains of the tavern. Go inside. Greets you inside the tavern is a decimated scene. The table's flipped over. It looks like a hurricane has come through it and taken everything it can with it. Stood behind the bar is a broken half-orc. The look on her face is one of someone who's lost everything, just as much as the soul has lost. Tavern owner is nowhere to be seen.
Oh fuck.
And she looks at you and almost goes through robotic motions of taking out enough cups for all of you, taking out the hardest spirit, putting it on the counter, steps back, and walks into the back rooms, away from all of you. You are joined by two others. The dwarf daughter of the tavern owner and his wife, and Halfdan, bearing a very heavily bandaged shoulder from where he lost an arm.
Damn, dude.
And the dwarf girl gently guides him back towards the back rooms with the wife. And as the door closes with a finality that kind of sends a shiver down all of your spines, you hear the sound of gentle sobbing from all of them. Sultan goes up to the bar, gathers up the bottle and all the things, and flips the table back onto its legs with one foot. Puts the cups down, puts the bowl down, gestures for you all to grab a chair and sit down.
Gotta sit.
I'll sit, but like I can feel the tension of, and obviously I put two and two together. That obviously that the bar guy's dead, and she's like gonna remember fondly of how warmly he greeted her, despite her being part of the carnival, and even though she was a slave, she didn't expect to be treated warmly and all that, but she was. So she's gonna keep him in his thoughts and basically do like a silent toast to him before like drinking.
As you all sit down, the Sultan uncorks the bowl, takes quite a substantial swig out of it himself before he pours all of you a draught and gives a silent toast to whoever you choose to give it to. Because your Bray's going for a tavern.
Yeah,
owner.
sorry, I got ahead of you there. Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's good. Bray's toasting to the tavern owner, and the acceptance.
Well, if we're
never
toasting everyone, I'll toast everyone that's passed, especially the people in the battle and all that. So.
Is there anyone specific anyone's going to be toasting to?
I imagine Vox would be for the. I keep forgetting the name. The elf, the dragon lady.
The elf lady. So we can see if I can find her quickly.
Terrible with names.
That was what? Alencia.
Yes. So it'll be kind of the same as Bray. It'll be thinking of everyone, but like mostly thinking of her.
I think my specific act will be the bodyguard. That was like, she was admiring his weapon, and he kind of like showed her what it was like to wield it, type of thing. Because he actually she had a passion for that weapon, and she's still holding him to like quite close to her heart, even though they barely knew each other. It's still like kind of special to her. So yeah, I think that's the person she's gonna be especially toasting, because he was a brave warrior in her eyes.
Yotal, are you going to be toasting anyone specific?
I think I'll do a general toast to the dead.
What about your ex-master, who's now gone? Do you give him any significance, or is he going to be in the general lump of a respect?
I suppose it would, yes.
Mr. Amir, are you going to be toasting anyone specific, or are you to be joining everyone else?
No, I will, because I feel like this is a nobility thing to do. I will actually toast to the Sultan's wife. We mourn a woman who, with or without the crown, was the epitome of nobility.
Don't forget you kind of had a thing with the daughter as well.
Yes, of course.
I will count that. Mr. Valence, are you going to be toasting anyone specific?
I think Valence is going to think back to the new recruits in the Watch who were so nice to him by comparison to the rest of them.
Mhm.
And all he's going to do is he just before he's about to drink, he would just sort of go, "They were just a bunch of kids, poor
I
things."
legit half expected you to pour one out for the homies.
No.
Well, no, and then he just knocks back. I'm assuming it's some kind of spirits,
Oh, it's a strong spirit.
and yeah, he just knocks it back straight away once he's thought of them.
As you all knock back your drinks, remembering those that were important to you and made an impact during your short time in this town, the Sultan knocks back his drink, looking wistfully at the glass, chuckling to himself. You know, you'd never let me drink this shit again. Always fancy wines, fancy spirits. You never really go for the bottom shelf grog again. It reminds me of some other time. Fills the glass again, knocks it back, and he just like shrugs off his cloak, takes like the turban thing that he's got on his head, takes it off and tosses it across the room, ruffles his hair, and to you in that moment he no longer resembles a sultan, but just another sellsword. Someone who could have just been another adventurer, another mercenary for hire that you might have seen in any other bar across the land. Doesn't look like a sultan anymore. It's a man who's had everything taken from him and isn't entirely sure of how to deal with it. But he rubs his face, rubs the little beard that he's got, takes another swig of his drink, and looks seriously up to all of you. Well, it appears we have some work to do. So, he leans back. Have a chat about what needs doing, shall we? And that's where we're going to end it.